Good morning, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to another Sunshine Shoulders live stream. Remember, this is y'all's live stream. Shout out to the NTZ crew. I saw Michael Beach of Life on here. I'm pretty sure Jacob Tanjay is going to be on here. All of my fourth quarter members. There's Ray Shard. He's back on track. Thank you, brother, for your support. I appreciate you. Jump Retada. He says, yeah, good morning. Let's get this discussion started. Shall we? Okay, there's Michael Beecher Live. There's Jacob Tanjay. Thank y'all, man. He said, shout out to the Hammers on standby to put people on punishment. Deli Graham, what's up? My buddy Roger Walker. Looking forward to seeing you again, brother. All my old heads. Q, that's Q. What's Q say? It's biological, Unc. We can't beat nature. Yeah, that's part of it. We're going to talk about it today. What's up, Doubtful Genius? You still in the Philippines, man? I know you said you had to make a trip back home in February. There he is, another old head. Any new viewers that subscribe, what's joining us? He says, I'm tuning in from the hamster wheel. Man, you got a job quick, Q, or do you work remotely also? What's up, Michael? You should be making your first trip here pretty soon, right? There's Kamal. What's up? But any new viewers and subscribers, welcome. There's Ajima's World. He's got a nice channel. But he's mostly focused on South America, Central America. Welcome, Ajima. And anybody catching this on replay, the peso is 58.46. This is the strongest it's been in a couple of months. But they expect it to weaken again because of the U.S.-Iran talks. You know, we're on the brink of war over there. What's up, Frank Tate? You know, it's always something, guys, you know. But I was telling y'all about the Rampage Jackson effect. Have y'all been watching him since he's been over here in the Philippines, man? I'm thinking that maybe somebody must have paid him to come to the Philippines because his timing could never have been better. You know, the Philippine genre is just so screwed up right now. His videos are light, they're funny. We take ourselves too serious, guys. Somebody's going to get hurt over here. It's not worth it. We're in the fourth quarter, but I've been watching his videos. Cod sent me the first link. And y'all know with all the foolishness surrounding vloggers and everything over here, I'm glad he came here. It just goes to show you that, you know, Philippines is a great place, man, to visit, to live, and have a good time. I really appreciate him coming on the scene when he did. Because we're too serious, guys. I made that 40-second clip from my last video talking about, hey, imagine you're a billionaire, you're in the most powerful seat in the world, and, you know, you're unhappy. And I just said, hey, if you white, Asian, Latino, and you don't like me for the color of my skin, I don't care. You know, you're not the standard. Man, things almost got 10,000 views, guys. It's not that serious. I mean, you know, you want to trigger racists, talk about racism. And, of course, you know, the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime. Man, y'all just too serious over there. Y'all need a life. There's nothing to get angry about, guys. America belongs to all of us, not just a certain group of people. This is why I left, man. Y'all sick over there. I'm just telling you now, y'all sick. So y'all had your own halftime show, okay? Y'all the same people that wanted separate water fountains and separate restrooms. It's the same thing. Y'all carrying that shit over, man. But that's all we're going to say about that. But y'all part-time racists. I will say that before we move on. Because half of y'all over here dating Filipinas. Make that make sense to me. If I'm a Filipina and I'm with one of those guys and they're when they putting on with their bullshit, you got to ask them a question. What do you think about me? But they only hate whoever the establishment tells them to hate. Blacks and Latinos for the most part. Anybody else gets a pass. They over here marrying and dating and doing everything you growing up to do with Filipinos. Make that make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Bunch of hypocrites, man. So let's go on with this. I made a video today because what's happening is a lot of people are unhappy. It has a lot to do with not having sex. If you're a man and you're not having sex, you're not happy. And any man that tries to downplay the importance of sex, okay, is not having sex. Good sex every day, man, will change your life. Physically, mentally, spiritually, okay? Y'all bullshit when you talk about it's not important. Oh, it's more to life than sex. Yeah, you're right, but that's part of a good, healthy life. It's natural. It's normal to have sex every day. Put your hand up if you've ever been on that honeymoon period with your girlfriend. On the honeymoon after your wedding. And you're getting it on 2 or 3 times a day. You can't keep your hands off each other. You understand what I'm saying? Put my email address up here for him. He said, Cal would personally pay you $200 a week to counsel me through the process of purchasing or leasing a home. What's your email address? calroach1@gmail.com. But it's quite simple. It's all about trust now. Remember, it's all about what visa you're on, who you talking about going into business with, because you can make it a business arrangement. Who's the woman you dealing with? How much money you talking about? Are you going to lease the land or are you going to buy the land under a sugar contract, John, and put it in her name? He said his videos are so funny. He's always been pretty easy going dude in real life. Yeah, now these are the tough guys. No, the cops is like, let's see if the trolls are going to mess with him. They're not going to mess with him. The tough guys are the MMA, boxers, football players. Those are the real tough guys, not vloggers. We're not tough guys. Those are the tough guys. That's who that is. Yeah, here it is, John. But yeah, it's not that. It's not that difficult, but it's a big decision a lot of people make. How much you want to spend on a house? Because you don't have to spend a lot over here. We have to know when the cost of living in the Philippines is advantageous to us coming from the West. Not everything. You buy a car, you buy a condo, you're not getting a deal. But certain things, absolutely, are a whole lot less. He said, you doing whoopee every day really makes a difference. Absolutely. Certainly when you've got a good cooperative partner and y'all have that good connection. It's something you have to work out in the beginning. You can't wait until a year or two down the road and then you're trying to figure it out. She can't read your mind. This is what you need to be talking about. Some of the things you need to be talking about when you're chatting with the woman online. Let her know up front, hey, look, I've got a strong sex drive. Is that going to be a problem with you? Is that going to be a problem? He said, okay, it's Black History Month in America. And I'm remembering the greatness of Muhammad Ali, Cal's hometown hero. Yeah. Just the fact that there has to be a Black History Month. It's crazy. But let's not get on that, guys, because if you want to trigger racists, just talk about racism, that's all. And they come for you, man. They get angry. but I don't really care. He said, yeah, that Bad Bunny show was fire, even though I didn't understand a word. I just like good music anyway. I mean, it's nothing to make a big deal out of. It's nothing to fight nobody over. But everybody is on my Facebook, my so-called friends over here with Filipino women, they're racist, man. That's what they are. And I'm shocked at them, because certain things bring certain things out of people. And they're not going to watch the halftime because they think that's un-American. They don't realize it's not. That's not un-American. America belongs to all of us, not just a certain group of people. He said, "Hey, sure, Cal. Hey, I appreciate it. The Alex gave this to me on my birthday about 3 years ago. Yeah, he came to my meet and greet, my 60th birthday in Lapu Lapu at the Morning Glory Grill. It's one of my nicest shirts. I mean, the way it fits, man, it's really comfortable. It's one of them, stretchy materials. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it's nothing to divide the country over, guys. That's all I'm saying." He said, "When is the Super Bowl?" Yeah, sex is very important. I guarantee you can tell the difference between a man who's having good sex on a regular basis and somebody who's not. We all know all the physical stuff, all the physical benefits. It lowers your blood pressure, your stress. What else? Strengthens your immune system. For men, if you ejaculate 21 times or more per month, it helps with the prostate cancer. Yeah, see? Yeah, lack of release would drive you crazy. Yeah, sex is natural. And the experts say that even having it every day is normal. But remember, we're religious fanatics in America. Okay? That's all I'm saying. So we bring Jesus into the bedroom and it screws everything up. Nobody's really watching you. There's more important things to worry about. Yeah, what's up, Blizzard Broad? Then when you having sex and how you having sex, I'm just gonna tell you, I was miserable with my American wife toward the last couple of years. I didn't turn her on. She didn't turn me on. I mean, that old begging and stuff like that, man, it's just, it's not natural. It's not natural. It's frustrating. It makes you angry. It was times I didn't even want to come home and have to look at her. But let's get into the conversation. Why are some men easily controlled by sex? But it really even could be, is it manipulation or is it control that women do with men? I try to do. And why are some men easily manipulated more than other men? Q brought something up because we've got it going against us anyway. I say it's a good thing. Biology, because it says right here, the concept of some men being more easily controlled by sex can be examined from several psychological, biological, and social perspectives. See, we're getting hit from all angles. And remember, men and women, we're equal, but we're not the same. So when you get with a woman, man, you got to iron that stuff out. That's why the unspoken agreement is so important. Not just over here, but with any relationship you're in. If you want me to do certain things, because believe it or not, people just are going to use sex as a bargaining tool eventually. But it says the hormones, testosterone, guys, plays a significant role in our sex drive. So the higher levels can increase sexual desire, making individuals more susceptible to sexual urges. So if somebody like Q is 30 years old and some of my friends are in their 70s and 80s, they're going to have a whole different conversation about sex. But if they're honest, they can easily remember when they were young and they wanted it all the time and how good it felt. But they talking about the brain's reward system, the dopamine and all of that stuff working, either for you or against you, depending on the situation you in. Psychological factors, it says. We're trying to, that's one way that a man shows his love for a woman. He says there's no substitute for being with a woman who's asking you to beat them cheeks every day. Yeah, I just agreeing to it. You don't have to beg. I haven't begged in 17 years. He said Rampage is a celebrity and a badass too. The regular trolls aren't crazy enough to mess with him. Not like he would care. No, he's got better things to do. But a lot of the trolls that went quiet, a video was released of the fat grandpa with a y'all call them lady boys, I call them men, with a man kissing and hugging all on a man. Y'all can say what y'all want to. Y'all just try to sugarcoat it by calling them lady boys. Those are men. When they take off their clothes, they're men. And they take off the makeup and all that other stuff. He's went quiet. The guy exposed him. See, I told y'all a long time ago, a lot of these trolls, the only reason a grown man would sit up and make videos over and over and over about other grown men, they're hiding something. They're deflecting, guys. Whenever you see, he's not the only one. They were saying that, the guy who called himself Andy Omar, they said he was that way, hiding stuff. But the fat grandpa, he loves dicks. So now he's went quiet when the guy exposes him. But he'll come after somebody like me. But whenever you see grown men making videos about other grown men, they hiding something. Yeah, he's exposed. Talking about it. Y'all call them lady boys. Stop sugarcoating it. Okay? The nitty gritty is that's a man. And he's slobbing and kissing and tongue kissing a damn man. And Lord knows whatever else he's doing. Okay? No, they're not going to go after people like Rampage because they're not real tough guys for real. But whenever you see that, I tell you, whenever you see that, that's a red flag. All right? Yeah, that's a red flag. They're hiding something. They like to, don't tell him what he like, But he's supposed to be the tough guy. He's telling everybody about your business to stop you from looking into his business. That he likes to take it from the behind. Yeah. That he likes his cheeks blown out, Richie Rich. He said, wow, I don't have the energy to have sex every day, nor would I be in the mood every day or every other day either. Well, to each his own. I'm just saying that it's normal. People look at you like you're crazy when you even talk about that. But if you with the right woman, bullshit. Bullshit. He said, yeah, as a Puerto Rican, the Bad Bunny show was to show the culture and to show solidarity with the USA, who governs the island of Puerto Rico, and to make white folks aware that Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. Yeah, they act like America just showed up in the territory that the country of Puerto Rico, which it was, and just said, hey, shook hands and made an agreement to take over that place. Colonization and all that stuff is not a walk in the park. Okay? Yeah, say it. The American football, not the world football championship. But another reason, psychologically, is low self-esteem. It says some men with low self-esteem may equate sexual conquest with personal worth. Because we're going to talk about this stuff first, and then we're going to talk about how women try to manipulate us, how to control us with sex. You got to be able to recognize the manipulation. Nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud, guys. But this is the reason why some men are more easily to manipulate and control. When you got low self-esteem, which that's one of the characteristics of a lot of men who show up in the Philippines. We've been beat down. We've been beat down. He said, yeah. He said, what's up, Cal? Is Mike supposed to be coming to your place today? Yeah, it's raining. It's nasty here, but they're coming. They're on the ferry now. No, let's see. Now, they're catching the 11 o'clock ferry. So they'll probably get here about 1 o'clock. They're going to check into their hotel and then let me know. I'm going to go over there because, man, if you look out here now, it's been raining like crazy. I got a big pool of water. I've got my boots on. I bought me some boots. But they said social and cultural influences make some men more easily to control because they said the media often glorifies certain behaviors related to sex, reinforcing the idea that sexual success is paramount for men. So, you get talked about if you're a man and you're not having sex. You know it's true, guys. Okay, if you're not getting it, they're going to talk about you. Certainly when you're growing up. No, I don't beg. Hey, look, man, who are you? I see you on other channels trying to troll me, but come on, guys. No, it says begging. I'm not talking to you, Big Love. I'm talking about, I see some stuff over here that's stupid. He said, Cal says begging. Yeah, it's worse than that. That, oh, please, and come on, just touch it. Put your mouth on it. And you just get tired of that. Yeah. He said, I seen that a while ago. They told him I'm a boy. Yeah, that we sugarcoated Blizzard, bro. Those are men. Y'all just try to make it soften the blow like, oh yeah, he loves lady boys. No, they love men. When you take the makeup off, okay, when you take the clothes off, okay, you peel back that onion, that's a man you're kissing and licking on. Now, relationship dynamics. Well, you're kind of getting ahead of us. He said, Uncle, if you were a woman, would you use sex as a bargaining tool? But it's really not. That's part of the bargaining in the agreement in the middle. That's in the beginning. I mean, that's part of the unspoken agreement. Other than that, I'm not bargaining nothing. I'm not gonna buy you a motorcycle if you give me a blowjob. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna marry you. That's what I'm talking about. You know how Western women, they're bargaining all the way through. They'll just keep, well, if you don't act this way, if you go to that Super Bowl party, just don't come back home and all that old foolishness, and you know what I'm saying. But remember, you're speaking hypothetically too, Q. That if is a big word, man. I'm not a woman, number one, and I'm not in poverty. I don't know what goes on in their mind. You should have asked me, would I blame her? No, because a lot of us guys who come over here, men, brother, we're easily to manipulate and control by sex. So they do it. Relationship dynamics says in some cases, individual in a relationship may use sex as a tool for control, exploiting vulnerabilities for personal gain. See, this is what you're talking about. But you got to be able to recognize it. It says peer pressure, like I just talked about. You got to be a man if you ain't got a woman, if you ain't blowing the back out. He said the tune-up is real. Not only do you not have to beg in the Philippines, they never say no when you are ready. Once you get a good one like me, Don't let it go. Treat her right and get your daily tune-ups. I just told Kaz the same thing today, because a lot of our women aren't the same over here. From what my experience is this, I've seen some young women, you think they're innocent. Man, they're manipulating men, certainly at that gym. You look at them, you be thinking, oh, wow, she's only 20 years old, 22 or something like that. She's probably never been with a man in her life. Not only foreigners, but Filipinos. She's running through them. Okay? So if you find a good one over here, like I told you, it don't get any better than that. But this is what we think. We come over here with low self-esteem. We don't know the culture. We don't know what constitutes a good woman over here. So you think, oh, that was easy. I can get another one. And then you end up throwing the best thing that ever happened to you back for somebody else to, to have. Yeah, but it's the same thing though, W Secret Sister says. It's the same part of your brain that reward system comes from. Drugs, money, sex, whatever it is. Some people, it's that same part. Those are the same dopamine. It's the same hormones. He said, whenever I get a $25,000, $50,000 bonus deposit, my dopamine levels jump off the charts. No woman ever did that. Yeah, it has. You just won't admit it. When she takes off her clothes and lays down there and gets cooperative, yeah, those dopamines start exploding in your mind. That reward system's going off. You just aren't noticing it. All you noticing is in big 36, 26, 36. That's all you worry about. He says, Filipino I've been chatting with for about a day is already asking me if she can quit her job so she can talk to me every day and that she loves me. Well, that's a red flag. Why are you still talking to her? Yeah, he'd rather make love to his money. So he gonna take his money and wrap it around his dick and go like that. See? Because we're talking about dopamine right now. It says, how does dopamine specifically reinforce sexual behavior or monetary behavior, a drug abuse or whatever like that? It triggers the brain's reward pathway, primarily involving the release of dopamine in areas such as the nucleus accumbens. This release creates feelings of pleasure and satisfaction, whether it's money, women, drugs, food, whatever. Well, hell, he said typhoon season. Typhoon season is all the time over here. The Pacific Ring of Fire. It's either wet or dry. But you have to realize most Filipinos dread when it rains like this because it's flooding in a lot of areas, guys. This is what your girlfriend goes through. Ask her if she ever dealt with a flood. Where my Filipino wife is from down in Zamboanga, in their squatter area, when it rains like this, it floods. I'm talking about the water's up to here. Mud everywhere. And then it'll go down. It'll subside. And then they're going to dry out and wait till the next time. Over and over and over, they go through that their whole life. He says, I'm Puerto Rican. I would rather be a U.S. colony than be poor as the other islands right here in the Caribbean any day of the week. Yeah, we're saying there's advantages, but we're saying that it didn't come easy solutions by. Well, right now, it's a good time to be in America, like I said, while we're living. But y'all act like America's always been this great place to live. There was a time when people like you wouldn't have wanted to be part of America. Okay? I'm not saying, I'm just telling you, see, y'all get mad at history. History brings up hate. I'm just telling you history. I don't know why that triggers y'all. If you talk to some of your elders and some of the people who really know what's going on, they may have a different story. Yeah, it feels good to you right now. What about when they first took that over? Why do you think that doesn't matter? And the thousands of the natives of Puerto Rico were killed. But y'all don't like history. Y'all, history, when people talk history, that's all I was doing on that last live stream. Y'all lose your mind about that. Y'all lose your mind about that. He said the NFL loves capitalism to the tune of billions. The NFL is valued at $228 billion. The average team value is $7 billion. Newsflash, the NFL will have 9 games outside the United States next season. Yeah, it's powerful. They have their own day, Sunday. Excuse me. Everything stops. You can say Monday night football. You can say Thursday night. No. Sunday is the day of the NFL. They have their own day. Well, it just goes to show you, the closer you are to America, the worse they treat you. But they're just part-time racists, man. They're not. If you black or Latino, they don't like you. But you Filipino, okay, you're okay. How can you hate? How can you be a racist and you're married to or dating a Filipino woman? Make that make sense to me. They're part-time racists. If the establishment told them to hate Filipinos, they would. But it really sounds stupid. You say you're a racist, but you're there with a brown woman. Okay? Yeah, this is true right here. This is true. A lot of times they will do that stuff. My son's mother still got pictures of us. We split up in 2010. She hasn't gotten rid of none of that stuff. My Filipino wife, we've been split for almost 7 years. She still got our wedding pictures on her Facebook, and she's with another man. Yeah, sometimes that stuff is like that. But don't let facts trigger you guys. Yeah, you peel back that damn onion. We always trying to sugarcoat it. Oh, it's a lady boy. No, that's a man. Now, if you don't like it. I don't have anything against lady boys and transgenders and whatever they want to call themselves. But at the end of the day, they're a man. And that's who you're laying down with. May have long hair, may have makeup on. Those are men. Well, I don't. Okay? To each his own. No, it's not. It's not. This is not. If you really think the Philippines really isn't a real sex tourism destination for real. Yeah, do foreigners get on the dating sites? I'm telling maybe it used to be. Back when the military bases and stuff were here. And now all it basically is men getting on the dating sites, meeting Filipinos and coming over here and have sex. But to label the Philippines a true sex tourism destination, nope. Look, I was in Angeles City about 3 years ago. I saw it then what Kai saw the other day. The women are worn out. It's not enough women up there to meet the demand. And the men who come there look worse than the women. They're worn out, man. To call that a sex tourism destination means you've never been to a real sex tourism destination. They don't have the infrastructure. Can you even get a selfie massage there or something like that? I've never been into it, but I know one when I see one. When I was in the Navy, way back in the 80s, we went to England. Hell, they had a nicer red light district in England in the 80s than they do here. What y'all think is a sex tourism destination, man, is just a bunch of women. I mean, worn out women. They ain't no damn pieces on Walking Street. Them old clubs they got. Man, trust me, guy. But see, Here's the crazy thing. Even if you talk about the bad part of the Philippines, they come for you. You can't even tell the truth about that. And that's one thing they're trying to, one reputation they're trying to get rid of. But you never been to Thailand then, Silver Monkey. Philippines don't compare to that. Amsterdam, all those places. Germany. They got to make a list. They got to put people's names on there just because you got a red light district. And then women are. It's not enough, guys. Certainly when the Navy starts making their rounds again. But anyway, that dopamine, and it says anticipation and motivation. This is why men are so easily controlled. You haven't had it in so long. It's like being hungry for so long. Hell, a shit sandwich will look good to you. You be tempted to eat a shit sandwich. And that's what happens. When you go all those years and I'm semen retention, or you just can't get a woman. And you go all that time with it. Hell, she put that carrot on a stick out there. She gonna control your ass. Pleasure and satisfaction. This we're talking about. We're up against it, man. Psychologically, biologically, socially. So we got to be prepared. We got to prepare ourselves. The best thing to do is to get you a good woman, man, and have that understanding. I've already told Merlin, I tell every woman I've ever dealt with over from the beginning, look, I got a high sex drive. I'm a man. We're not the same in that department. I'm going to sacrifice for you, but you got to sacrifice for me. I can't take a day off over here, guys. If I take a day off, it crumbles. I can't say, I'm not going to pay the bills this month. It don't work like that. But if you talk to your woman, because very few women really understand our biology, and we don't understand theirs. So you got to break it down to them. But that's the only way you're going to get over that. What's up? What time's it, travels? Welcome to the chat. But then they'll even say that a man is whipped. He said, Cal, did they ever come at you for advising about the bad reason? No. It's just that when you talk about, you can't really say anything negative. I'm not really saying anything negative about Red Street. I'm just saying that the Philippines is not this sex tourism destination that people are making it out to be. Other than men now, I'm talking about in 2026. Other than men getting on dating sites, meeting women, coming over and have sex. But if you think you're going to come here, if you're a real sex pet, you're going to be disappointed when you show up in Angeles City. I'm not even, I had my woman with me, and we were disappointed. We was like, wow, we thought it was going to be more than this. We thought it was going to be better than this. And the men are worse than the women, but the women out there worn out. Man, it's not enough women up there because the Philippines has this reputation as being this thriving sex tourist destination. It's not. So you got all these men coming over here. They go up to Angeles City, and they're really just, the women are on a rotation. It's like, who wants that? I don't. It's not the number one country, dude. If you never been over here, Silver Monkey, stop with the foolishness. He says he's never been here before. It's not the number one. He says, I admit, although America has its flaws, one thing I appreciate is good customer service. In the Philippines, they just tell you, sorry, sir. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the good things, but you got to know the history of how that stuff evolved. And we're trained on that stuff. That's part of our culture. So why you coming to the Philippines? Something about America is rubbing you the wrong way, Q. Or you never even think about leaving. And we can sit here all day and talk about the good things about any country. I wasn't even putting down America. We were just talking about the history, and people get upset. They really get upset about that because they don't know the history. They just want to start from today, like that guy expat crowd. Oh, we can't worry about them. We just can worry about now. That's y'all's problem. Everything hasn't always been the way it is now. But let's talk about some of the ways women use sex to control you. Okay? They use various strategies in relationships, and why it's crucial to approach this topic with sensitivity to avoid generalizations. He says, here are 10 ways some women might utilize sexual dynamics to influence or control or manipulate you. Attractiveness and seduction. They use this on those dating sites when you're still chatting. Using physical appearance and flirtation to gain attention and leverage in a relationship. They already got you before you even get over here. You're already sending money. They doing the peekaboo. That's manipulation. They're controlling you. They already got the commitment before you even step on the plane. Okay? Yeah, but okay, good luck enforcing this. Good luck enforcing this because they would have to, who's a vlogger? Okay, every tourist that comes over here, the minute they take out their camera, they could be considered a vlogger. Come on, guys. You got to think a little bit higher than that. Anybody that takes out their camera going to take a picture could be labeled a vlogger. They don't have the manpower to enforce that, guys. Stop repeating that stuff over and over. Yeah, it might be the law. But do they enforce it? How are they going to enforce that? Okay? Asia now. He's not the authority. He's repeating something he heard off another channel. Well, maybe the ones you haven't been with, we're not generalizing. Remember? We're not generalizing. This is something that you have to gain an understanding with the woman you're dealing with. He said Filipinos aren't that freaky. Bullshit. Bullshit. Okay? I'm sorry. You probably got with the wrong one. I can tell you right now. I've had every fantasy fulfilled that I've had over here, but I'm not really that hard to satisfy. I've never wanted to be with two women, but if I wanted to, I could have. When I was dating my wife, I was just joking with her. I said, I always wanted to be with two Filipinas. Guess what? She started looking around for another woman to join us. I said, hold up, I was just joking. That was just a joke. Because if you with the right woman, she'll do anything for you to please you. Okay? He said, you're right about Angeles City, Cal. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. Somebody else might think it's it's a paradise up there. Man, if you want to see women, okay, I'm going to tell you, if you walk down Red Street and you just go to Soy 6 in Thailand, in Pattaya, there's more women on Soy 6 than it is all on Red Street. You're not even talking about the walking street right up the street from Soy 6 and all the other bars and, gentlemen's clubs. They're everywhere. It's a sex tourist destination. The Philippines doesn't have a sex tourist infrastructure. They don't have all of that stuff, man. It's not a real sex tourist destination, guys. They've done a good job of trying to get rid of that reputation. I'm just being honest with you. I've never been into that stuff, but you be out to sea for so long, it forces you. The testosterone and everything, the peer pressure, the dopamines and everything. It forces you to seek that because you don't know when you're going to be back on land. They don't tell you. They don't tell the average seller our plans. Okay, you don't know. So you be over in Israel like I was, screwing a woman on the ground. And some man's peeking between the bushes watching y'all's action. He said, I really just like waking up in the morning, walking outside and getting fresh rice and chicken with a Coke for $5. Or if you like freshly baked bread. That's one thing that's going to shock you. It shocked me, man. I did not know the Philippines, it doesn't even have that reputation as a bakery hotspot. Man, the best thing to do, you want a cup of coffee and get some hot panda sauce, or Spanish bread, or cheese bread. I'm talking about when it's hot, when they fresh out of the oven, man, it make you bite your tongue. Yeah, he says the ICE agent who shot the lady in Minneapolis is married to a Filipino. The MAGAs raised over $1 million on GoFundMe for them. Yes, just one of those things to make you go, I thought these guys were supposed to be racist. But they sure love Filipinos. They sure love Filipinos. Yeah, they are stressed out. He says, I've never been to Angeles City, but I went to P. Burgo Street in Poblacion. Them women there look all stressed out. I wouldn't touch them with 10 condoms on. Chickens and waffles, a filling station was good though. Yeah, I went to that filling station. My buddy James Mack took Maryland, took us to the filling station. They do have good food. I had the tacos. Yeah. He said, I love the peekaboo. That's just one of the ways they get you. I think we all love the peekaboo expat crap. I saw where you were giving those guys their props. You like Fat Grandpa. You said that thanks to him, they've made the Philippine, him and the other guy, you said thanks to them two, they've made the Philippine vlogs, more exciting, worth looking at, more entertaining. Bullshit. You like to see men kissing and sucking on other men? Well, she's already doing it, and men are going crazy. I promise you, I got that on here already. Look, I got Pro-Life Traveler's wife is vlogging, and men are going crazy. Okay, but I told you this before. When it first happened, I said, if that woman's smart, she'll start making those videos now. Get that money, keep on going. Keep circulating. He's got so many followers, they're going to follow her. She looks a whole lot better. She's a lot more sexier than him. And she can get away with the stuff that they locked him up for. She can do the exact same thing, and they're not going to bother her. And that's what she's doing. She's showing her sisters off. Yeah. I got that on here. She's smart. Yeah, they're not conservative. You myself, have you been over here before? You guys are talking about stuff you heard. Yeah, see, well, Q, you've been looking at my notes. That's what I said. He says, another reminder to date younger Filipinos. The older ones don't have much energy to do all those positions. They just want to eat lechon and nap. I said, that's one of the main reasons that guys come over here and have these large age gap relationships. Because the younger Filipinos, they're active like that. An older woman, no matter who she is, where she is, her drive starts going down like this. And then certainly when they hit that menopause and all of that, because we're still raring to go. They're slowing down. We just cranking up, man. Men come over here and get cranked up, guys. We get rejuvenated. Crank up, That's what we do over here. You don't want to know. You come over here. There's a guy who married a 60-year-old woman over here. You're a damn fool. to marry a 60-year-old woman anywhere. Unless you're 160, then that would make a difference. He's got a fine wife, man. I'm not being, facetious or anything. The man picked him out a dime. He said, I can imagine what she's going to dress up like. And men like that kind of stuff. He wasn't showing her enough. He was showing all the other women. They were looking at his woman already. The woman's channel's already exploded. She's already monetized already. She's going to earn more money than he did. She's going to become twice as popular as him, and she's not saying anything. She's just smiling into the camera, showing her chest, showing her body. This is what they want. He said, even if I need the blue pill, I need to try at least every day to get some. By the way, can you get the blue pill in the Philippines? Yeah. Yeah. He said, yeah, money, of course. That's answering Q's question, not mine. Yeah. Now this is okay. There's something else called honey something in Pattaya. They've got like 4 locations. The honeycomb, what's it called? W Secrets of Success. This is where, because they've got in Thailand, they've got from 1s to 15s. They got 20s over there in Pattaya. The more money you got, the more you willing to spend in them clubs to find the women. They don't have that set up here, man. There's too many women there. They've got more women. They've got enough women there to meet the demand. There's not enough women here, man. These women are worn out over here. Man, the guys up there, we landed about 7:30, and we took the tricycle to the hotel actually had a shuttle that came and got us. So we're in the shuttle, and we go right past, it was Walking Street then. And you see these men out there, early in the morning, they're already drunk, they're walking around like zombies. And that's the first impression I got of Angeles City. So then after the meet and greet, me, Marilyn, and it was like 3 couples and like 3 other guys that attended the meet and greet. We just went down there. I wanted to see it, and I was so disappointed. That's 3 years ago, so imagine what it is now. He said, you're right, Cal. The field now is nothing like it once was when the military bases were still in place. It's relatively conservative as a culture because they don't need to do it now. They got the dating sites. If it wasn't for the dating sites, I'm pretty sure a lot of the women, there'd be more women there, but they don't have to subject themselves to that type of environment. If that's their goal is to try to, escape their present circumstances. Yeah, when they cook that fresh, you can't beat that. Yeah. Okay. But I'm just saying though, I saw your comment on, I think his name is Matthew. He's the one that exposed Sick Grandpa. See, the people like Fat Grandpa, they can dish it out, but they can't take it. If you've ever seen somebody come after a troll, they immediately shut down. Okay? When Fat Grandpa went out to Smooth Tyrone, you see how Smooth Tyrone buckled. And then basically made an ode to Fat Grandpa. Glazing his nuts. Because they can't take it. They're hiding something. Every last one of them. I'll be damned if I'm ever going to spend 1 minute trolling another man and talking about his life. I got too much in my own life to deal with. But when they get exposed like that, they shut down. Okay? It's just crazy, man. He ain't got nothing to say. He's embarrassed. Everybody knows now that he likes men. And he giving a story about how he was drugged. He wasn't drugged. You like penis, man. Just say it. Now, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, man, there's no way. There's no way I would, man. You couldn't pour one of them women over on me. I'm sorry. You couldn't pour a woman on me. No, he was 63. Imagine that. He's 63. She's 60. She's 60. They got married last year. Jeffrey Taylor knows him. He said, yeah, Pro-Life Travels girl is going to start sending him money in Estonia. She's going to be bigger than him. Yeah, she's going to be much bigger than him. And she's not even going to have to do anything but drive around in that car and do everything he was doing and get away with it. Because, okay, I'm going to put this out there right now. She's probably the best looking Filipino vlogger out there right now. Certainly the sexiest. And that's what y'all want. Okay? Y'all playing right into her hand. You see those two videos she got, all them views, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what's she talking about? Nothing. She driving around, got the baby in the front seat, and then I guess her sisters in the back with their kids. That's the whole video. It got like 25,000 views or something. Then the other one was, oh, I never expected this to happen. And they're in a resort or something, you know, just piddling around like what we were talking about on the last live stream when the lockdown and those type of videos. That's the type of videos she's making. And I don't blame her. Yeah, he said, he said, I have no idea. He says, I only visit the Thai temples and worship 3 times per day. Well, we're not talking about the women. We're not talking about the women. No, I didn't say I didn't like Mad Matt. I don't even know him not to like him. I maybe, that's the only video I watched when him and you know, Grandpa was going after it because see, Grandpa usually goes after people like me and others who don't strike back. Mad Matt struck back and struck back hard, and it shut Fat Grandpa down. Plus, he looks like the type of guy that would fight Fat Grandpa, just like Jim Asian Adventures would. I'm just telling you that these guys who sit up there and make these videos about other vloggers all day long, they're hiding something. They're deflecting, man. That's why. I don't have a problem with those guys. With people like Mad Matthew, because I don't know them. I don't watch them. I don't have a problem with any vloggers. I'm over here enjoying my own life. I got my own channel. I don't even watch those guys. I was watching Rampage Jackson because it's different. He's a breath of fresh air over here. He's not beefing with nobody. He's doing what I should really be doing. I'm going to hire somebody to walk around with the camera with me so I can really show y'all different things over here. It's hard to do that when you got the camera too. But he's funny, man. His videos are light, man. We need to lighten up. Everybody wants to fight. Everybody's beefing up. People trying to send other vloggers to jail. Man, it's toxic over here, man. It's too serious. We're taking this thing too serious, guys. Okay? Well, I don't know. I don't know Ricky. I don't know any of them. He says in real life, Ricky's a cool dude. He's only acting for YouTube. Well, you know, he needs to act somewhere else. He was deflecting away from him because he likes penises. They never, you know, if that's what you like, but don't be running around here like you some big tough guy, some alpha, and you sucking weenies over here. He said, Unc, how did you get tough skin to handle trolls? Because that's how you ignore them. If you respond to them, that's what they need. I don't need them. They need me. I don't need them for content. They need me to reply and make a video on them and we go back and forth. See, I don't need them. He said other people either fold or keep it lighthearted so the trolls won't beat them up too bad. Yeah, because they're afraid. Didn't you hear me talk about that the other day? Where everybody wants to be politically correct because they're afraid of the bad guys out there, the boogeyman. I'm not. He said the brothers who keep it gritty catch the most heat. But you see why we're catching the heat. But we're not talking about that the Philippines doesn't have beautiful women. Absolutely they do. We're talking about in the sex tourism industry. It's just not enough, man. It's not enough over here, guys. You never been to a sex tourism destination. If you think that this is a sex tourism destination, that the infrastructure over here set up for it, where you got all these different spas and you know what I'm talking about, bars and all the different things, that you can get in a real sex tourism destination. The Philippines is not. It's not. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. He said, I need that vlogging permit so I can get back at it. Vlogging as of now is dead. It's not dead. It's very lucrative. You guys keep telling yourself, oh, it's dead. If you just look at the top 10 vloggers that you watch, tell me it's dead. It's not dead. But Rampage Jackson injected something new into it. But it ain't nothing dead. You got the vlogging messed up over here. The Philippines is too popular, man. I don't know. He's another one. Probably taking it from in the behind. Focus on all these other men. He certainly looks like an old wide receiver. I can show you videos that would emails he sent to me. I still got all of them. It make you question his manhood. But I don't have anything against any of them. I wasn't raised like that. I don't come from that. Man, I got enough in my own life to deal with. But okay, we're talking about how women look for this stuff, guys, because you got to recognize the manipulation that they're going to try on you. Deliberately withholding sexual intimacy to encourage certain behaviors or compliance from a partner. They're going to do that. Okay? Well, I'm sorry. What you think? You're just one man, Q. You know how many videos is over here? You know how many vloggers are over here? And people who don't even vlog. Why would Rampage Jackson come over here then if the Philippines has run its course? Y'all don't understand how YouTube works. There's people who haven't even considered considered the Philippines yet, who are going to start watching these videos coming over here. He said, laugh my ass out at wide receiver, Cal. Listen, man, I don't know if you know this, but you are a 140 cat. I'm crying. No, he just probably, he comes across as that. Yeah, he just stays stuck in the province, and he's going to say the Philippines is running its course. You haven't even been anywhere. Dude, if you go to places like Surigao Island, Siquijor Island, you're going to see nothing but Europeans over there. You want to see the dime pieces, go to Siquijor Island. Them European women are practically naked. Those Polish women are from Poland, where Sweden. You ain't seen nothing. Russian. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's over here now. He's having a ball, man. His videos are light. There's nothing, nobody's beefing back and forth. They think that's the only way you can get views over here, I guess. But yeah, withholding is one. Emotional manipulation. Linking sexual availability to emotional needs, creating a scenario where sex becomes a bargaining tool. Q, what you was talking about. But man, you haven't even scratched the surface of seeing the Philippines. I haven't. And I've been over here 17 times longer than you. I've only been to 18 islands. I haven't even been to Puerto Galera. I haven't been to Palawan. There's so many places I haven't even been to. Masasa Island. Raymond hipped me to that. He's getting ready to go there, and I looked it up. Man, that's beautiful. You haven't even been to Mindanao yet. You haven't even been to the Central Visayas region yet, Q. The Philippines have got so much, dude. Yeah, they fine as hell. Yeah, nothing but G-string. Now, if you want to see damn pieces, you go over there. Yeah. I remember, I guess it was a couple of years ago when we were still living on Sikiwa Island. We still had our place, rather. And me and Marilyn, we're in the tricycle. We're coming back from the beach, the beach. And we're riding down the main road, and here comes these two white ladies. One white lady, man, had on a red bikini. You could have seen her from a mile away. She's the finest woman I've probably seen in the Philippines of any color. I mean, just super bad. Just walking, like she ain't got a care in the world. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, hit the lights, guys. It's just that somebody like him, I believe they paid him to come here, man, because he couldn't have come at a better time with all the shit that's going on surrounding bloggers and stuff over here and blogging. But he came at the right time to lighten it up because everybody's trying to get people locked up and foolishness, man. But fulfilling expectations. Okay, it says engaging in sexual activities to meet societal or relational expectations, using this to strengthen control in the partnership. Yeah, see, I haven't even been there yet. There's a lot of places I haven't been. I plan on going. Building intimacy, using sex to establish emotional closeness, making it harder for a partner to leave or challenge the relationship. Guys, we're talking about whipping you. Hey, my B exchange or my Bex, my B exchange. Thanks for that super sticker. And welcome to the chat. This is what you call whipping you. This is what they're going to try to do. Because a lot of women here, they know that that's really all they're bringing to the table. So they're going to put it all on the line while the guy says, oh, they're too conservative. No, they're not. Merlin told y'all a long time ago, what we try to do is make y'all fall in love with us. Then we know we got you. This is what they're talking about right here. Okay? Using sex to establish emotional closeness. And some guys are easily controlled than others because a lot of guys are coming over here after divorce, post-divorce. You're going through one of those dry spells. And you see this young 22, 23-year-old woman waiting for you at the airport. She got that little bag of possessions on her. And you're done. You're done, man. She's going to bend over backwards, jump through hoops, run around in circles, whatever it is you need to do. And then next thing you know, you hooked. You ain't going nowhere without her. I see it over here all the time. You be like, hey, man, let's go over here, man. Well, I have my girl. She going to be tripping, man. See, y'all mistake clinginess for control. He said, I appreciate your channel. Cuffy is my name from New Jersey. Man, I appreciate you, brother. I mean that. Yeah. Okay. He says, imagine coming from New York City with a 60-year dry spell. You're falling in love right away. It ain't got to be 60. Excuse me. It can be 6 months. But some of these guys, man, they'll tell you themselves, hey, I haven't had sex. Wow, it's raining. They got a rain warning. 10 years, some guys. 5 years, 3 years. You don't stand a chance, man. Jealousy. You hear a lot about that over here. It's another way. creating scenarios where a partner feels jealous. I think they said that's what Gio's ex-wife tried to do, and it backfired on her. Now she's making videos about the next man I would marry, or the next man I'm going to date is going to have all of these qualities. Lady, ain't nobody going to touch you. Not in their right state of mind. Not after Gio done punished you, dug all up in you. I don't want it. Certainly don't want you. Yeah, she said, yeah, this is true though. He said this is random, but one thing that's annoying is if your girlfriend finds out you follow other vloggers, she will read every comment. I don't have anything to hide, but just wanted to share. Yeah, it's true. Hey, Pearl Graphics. He says, what's up, Cal? Everyone, I'm very late to the party. I had some business to take care of. Take care of your business, man. He said, I haven't had sex in 3 days. Yeah, that'd be say 3 years and all that stuff. This is why, first of all, when the guy says, hey, how did you uh, get such tough skin? Because I know everybody's not coming from the same place, Richard. Even my audience, we're all coming from a different place. Some guys, they're not easily manipulated because they're just stepping from one relationship into the other. They're getting it on in their home countries. So when the games that the women try to play over here, they can easily recognize it and be like, oh, it's okay. I won't even be bothered with that stuff. Or they don't have low self-esteem. They know their value. They know their worth. But we're all coming from different ages, different circumstances. So you can't take this stuff serious. You can't take it too seriously, man. You don't know people's mental state because it's really immature to sit around and make those type of videos like that. That's why you don't see more men doing it. If it was lucrative, he said Maya's done. Gio ruined it. But now, people, if you go in her comments, man, you'll see how easily some men are controlled by that. That's the first thing it said. Frank, attractiveness and seduction. You can say a lot of things about her, but you can't say she's not attractive to thousands and thousands and thousands of men out there. And seduction, look at the way she talks. You see what she had on her last video. I just click on there. I can't watch them. There's no way I could sit there. I can't sit there for 1 minute and listen to anything they got to say. They're not saying anything. They're just prancing around, talking about what she wants in a relationship. He says, I'm chatting with 5 different Filipinos right now. It's exhausting because they keep sending, nonstop messages and video calls. I don't know how you did it, Cal. Well, that's one thing that frustrates me about the dating site. They just keep asking questions over and over and over, and you're like, that's why I can't chat with them long. It's like 2 weeks, that's all I can take. I'm on the next plane. I see you. I'm coming. Otherwise, but who are you chatting with? Yeah. But I didn't even finish my thought. I was going to say the same thing. He said, Calvin just said nobody in their right state of mind is going to touch her. He said, that's absolutely correct and on point. Unfortunately, many of these simps drooling just to get a conversation with her. It's true. But this is how she manipulates guys. She's probably already got somebody, guys. I promise you. Once somebody rings that bell, it's not like they're going to go into monk mode, whatever a woman would call it. Somebody's ringing that bell now. But she's learned a lesson. She's not going to show her hand now. She says, your Filipino girlfriend will also follow those other IG and TikTok creators just to block you, even if your intentions are pure. Well, there are certainly detectives. You can't even begin to understand how much time they spend on social media, more than anybody in the world. And that's all they got is time. You don't know where they're going to show up or where they're lurking, but they are. And it makes the Philippines so much smaller. I told you I was in Lady one time, and Lady I'm on Negros Island. Okay, you've got Cebu, and you got Lady. I'm 2 islands over. Maryland knows nobody in Lady, so I thought. Oh, I saw Calvin on the jeepney with a woman. You know, there could have been anybody sitting next to me. Yeah, they are. It's sickening, man. But this is how some guys see you, can see right through it. It don't affect you, Thomas, because you got a good woman over here. You're getting, your bell rung anytime you want to. So you're not going to be easily controlled. The name of the the live stream is Why Are Some Men Easily Controlled? Low self-esteem, inaction. They haven't had it in so long. It's like you starving. Hell, shit sandwich looks good to you. That's what it is when you come over here. You think you got a damn piece until you get over here and you start looking around and you realize that you got a 3 when you could easily had a yummy 6. But you hungry, you thirsty. Then she starts playing games. She knows that you are inactive. She knows you're lonely and isolated. They know all this stuff because they're watching my videos now. But the difference between Filipinos and us is they'll take that information and use it. We just look at it like, oh, it's just entertainment. Bullshit. Yeah, there's some heck of a private investigators. But yeah, jealousy, guilt is another way. Using sex as a means to instill guilt in a partner for perceived shortcomings, encouraging compliance. Flirting with others. See, you got to recognize this stuff. Ain't no woman going to be with me flirting with somebody else. That's what happened to Gio's woman, and it backfired on her. Yeah, you got a YouTube channel, so what? Don't be flirting with nobody. Because really, when it comes to women over here, I tell them all the time, a bird in the hand beats 2 in the bush. You got a good man, you better hold on to him. You don't know what's in that bush. Probably nothing. Probably nothing. Okay? Probably nothing. Conditional affection. Offering affection or intimacy conditionally. Making a partner feel they must earn it. They ain't playing all them games with me. Yeah, they all on social media. It's so small. It makes the Philippines so small, man. You can't get away with anything if you better have a whole. Okay, here's how I was able to meet Marilyn. I catfished her. I was on a dating site, but I had a whole different profile picture. It wasn't even me. But she's thinking it's me because remember, 18 to 80, blind, crippled, and crazy, they don't care what you look like. If you're saying the right things, remember, men, we go by what we see. Women go by what they hear or what they read. I'm saying all the right things. She didn't care. So when finally we did because I waited all the way to the day before we met in person. And I said, yeah, let's get on let's get on. It wasn't WhatsApp. I believe it was Messenger or something, And she was shocked. Like, who are you? And I was like, yeah, it's my father. I told her it was my father. It's too late though. I already got her. we already set everything up to move to meet in Dumageddon, and really she was pleasantly surprised. She probably was glad I wasn't as old, as the man was. Well, I'm not really sure. I really don't care. I'm just saying, you know, we're just really talking about how manipulative women can be. We don't know, and it's not my business. I don't lose any sleep trying to figure out. I see people doing. There's one blogger who's doing the real reason why they broke up and all that stuff, right? About some other man and his wife, and I'm like, guys, this isn't normal behavior. Okay, it's not normal behavior. No, it was an old black man photo. Okay, but the reason I couldn't put my picture is because it wasn't official that me and my wife, it was official in my mind. Once she got on that plane, my wife, and went back to America. But it wasn't official. I'm trying to show her some respect. Okay. And that's what I did. I just put a fake picture on there and everything. But you could easily do that because they really don't care. It's 18 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. They don't care, man. You got a pension. And you're going to, can you give me better living conditions? Do you have the potential for that visa? Remember, they want a whole new hand. They don't like the hand they were dealt. They want to throw their cards in. Well, it wouldn't matter, Melvin. It's been 28 days. You can't shame me, guy. I'm trying to show you that there's somebody else out there that smokes crack. Maybe they can look at my story, fool. You guys are jealous, man. I was able to overcome all that. I never should have got into it to begin with. My mother always warned us about that. But you can't shame me with that. That was in May the 13th. That'll be 28 years, fool. Do you really know me? But I'm going to give you your 20 seconds of fame, and then I'm going to blast you out of here. These are the type of guys that are sucking dicks. See, they want to try to deflect the attention onto you by saying this stuff. He got a big old pipe in his mouth right now. Oh, dick eater. What's up, Rashad? He said, you skipping me. No. What questions? You ask the same silly ass shit every live stream, man. I appreciate your cooperation, but hell, look how many other people on here. Yeah, see? I got moderators. Y'all don't realize it. You see that wrench right there? Y'all can't just come over here and get shit. Just get any shit through here. But guys think that my crack history embarrassed me. No, I'm proud of that. Okay, all that I went through is necessary for me to be here today. I can tell you don't do it, but you don't shame me. That was 28 years ago. And this is how my ex-American wife, and she'll still do it today. She'll bring up shit I did when I was getting drunk and high. And I'm like, well, when are you going to live that down? It's 28 years. That's why they got Melvin act like a bitch. Oh, dick eater. He said, you're right, Cal. I used a picture of the singer Joe. But I was saying what she needed to hear. Yeah, she knew the profile was fake, and we're still hanging there for 2 years. Yeah, see, I be trying to put y'all up on game. You don't have to put your own picture up there. But you better be saying the right things. There's certain things she wants you to say. I'm coming. Okay? Yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to take good care of you. I don't care if you got kids. I got kids. I think you're nice looking. I want to meet you. It's just certain simple things you need to say. You're done. You're in there. He said, your story of transformation is amazing, inspirational. Thank you, man. I don't let guys like that. The only reason they know that's because I told them I don't have anything to hide. I'm going to tell my story. No, but none of these trolls are going to meet somebody on the street that I grew up with, I got high with, and then come on here and say, yeah, did y'all know cows used to smoke crack and drink? Yeah, he's an old dick eater. That's all of them are. Anytime you see a grown man on here, I don't care who he is, making a video, 10, 15-minute video about another man, worrying about his business, dick watching, pocket watching, pussy watching, he's probably a little, got some fruit in his tank, a little sugar in his tank. All of them. Okay, because why would you do that? Well, why would you do that? Why would you waste any of your precious time worrying about another man? I wasn't raised like that. I didn't come from that type of neighborhood or environment. We didn't do that because it would get you hurt. I mean, if anything, worry about a woman, not another man. Yeah, because some of the stuff you say, man, you got to understand it's not to me. YouTube is watching too, Rashard. This is what y'all don't understand. YouTube watches this stuff. There's community standards that every channel has to adhere to. And something you say or something you post on my channel can cost me. Well, I really didn't. He said, man, imagine how much money you lost taking your ex-Filipino wife to the U.S. Now I understand why you don't want to get married again. I didn't lose any money. You got to understand, we had a son together. It was 4 years. My wife went over there and did what most of them do. Got a good job working at General Electric, earning more money than she could never even dream of. Helping to pay the bills. We'd go to casinos. She won every time. Sometimes, believe it or not, my Filipino wife, would pay that $900 rent over there. I didn't even ask her. No, it's not the money you lost. That's an investment. You better know who you bringing over there, though. My wife didn't run off. I brought her back to the Philippines, man. She wasn't ready. Imagine you growing up here as my wife with a college degree. She's got a college degree. She's very good with computers and things like that. That's what she's got, a computer programming degree or something like that. Okay. You're earning, the most she ever earned was 5,000 pesos per month. Then you take her to America. She's created a whole new life, all new friends and everything. She's bringing home over $500 a week at General Electric after taxes. Then she's getting a tax return check every month. She's got all these dreams now, they finally are being fulfilled. And then I can't come home, and say, I'm burned out. I need a break. Let's move back to the Philippines. And of course, being a good wife, she's going to say, okay, knowing she's not ready. So after 6 months, which is basically a vacation for her, she had enough. There's nothing here for me, she's saying. And I'm pretty sure her family's looking at her like, what's wrong with you? Why are you back here? There's nothing here for you. Get back over there. You got a mission. You're on a mission. I was. And I'm not ashamed of that. Okay? A lot of you guys probably crackheads and everything else. But you had it. See, I live in truth. I don't hide. He said, say, thanks for that super chat, Rashard. He said, say it ain't so, the wrench mob coming after me. It's not so, man, but you got to respect the channel, man. A lot of stuff you be saying, man, is crazy. He said, women be holding grudges to the next millennium. Certainly here, guys, okay? I'm just telling you. Somebody was asking me this Yesterday, a friend of mine, Jay, he's back in the Philippines now. And he's like, he was asking some advice about a woman he's dealing with now. And he was like, because I know you talked about your son's mother withholding, not letting you see your son the way you wanted to. I was like, yeah, because she was holding a grudge. She didn't want to break up. And she held that grudge for years, but now we're friends. Anytime anything happens with my son in America, she messages me, sends me pictures of him and everything like that. But it was a time when all I could do was go up in the mountains and see him. If I took him to the mall, I had to take the whole family. If I took him to Jollibee, I had to take the whole family. When I brought my other son, Gabe, over here for them to meet, we had to take Gabe up there and they played together. We couldn't even bring him back to the condominium and let him go swimming. They said it's too far. I'm like, too far? I came from 8,000 miles away to see my son. But that's the type of grudges they hold. But, man, we're good friends again. She admitted she was wrong. See? She admitted she was wrong. She's apologized. She's got a beautiful home over there. I'm going to see if I got a picture of it. I'll put it on my community page. If you get a good woman over here, guys, it's as good as it gets. I didn't know that in 2010. I know it now. I'm telling you that. You think, oh, look how easy this came. This woman was ambitious, guys. She was a 10-year-old that quit school after the 5th grade, in between the 5th grade and 6th. She took a year off selling coconuts on the streets of Cebu City, sometimes sleeping on that cart. The woman's got a $425,000 house in America. She bought that after her divorce. The man, her ex-husband had died. She did that on her own. Okay? When you deal with a woman over here, man, a good one, man, you got you something. Hey, thank you, Christopher Michael, for that super sticker. He said, what we cussing up today? Now, we're just talking about why some men easily controlled by sex. Now, we're talking about recognizing manipulative behavior, because manipulation is control. Let me read you the definition that I got for manipulation, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Because like I said, we use so many words that we don't really know the true meaning of. It says manipulation refers to the act of controlling or influencing someone or a situation in a clever, often deceitful way. The key word is deceitful. But we're just talking about, how can you recognize the behavior? What can you do that you're not so easily manipulated? First of all, if you plan on coming over here and you're on a dry spell, go ahead and pay for some over there in your home country. Don't come over here on a dry spell or you're done. She knows you're on a dry spell. She knows you're lonely. She knows that you're isolated, that you've never had a woman that looks like her age, since you were her age. She knows you're 63 and she's 23. And she's going to use all of that because they listen. We don't. That's why they have such a stronger support group than we have. Our support group is supposed to dwarf theirs, but we're just like this where they're like this. You don't believe me? When my wife left here after 6 months and went back to the States, she had no job. She had no place to stay. But she did have that Filipino mafia over there. You can stay with us. We'll help you find another job. Okay? Probably introduced her to the man she's with now. Y'all better put some respect on that Filipino mafia over there, guys. And this is what you're dealing with when you bring a woman over there. Okay? They're going to be talking to her and telling her things behind your back in front of you because you don't know the language. They're going to have her back. You guys don't have my back over here. We don't have each other's back over here. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because she's not some kind of hoe. You know, she's a respectful woman. So, of course, but she knows my situation. So she don't press me about it. But yeah, she wants to be official. If you meet a good woman over here, they're going to want to be official. That's their culture. That's why when you come over here and you meet women over here, man, their body count is very low, man. Okay, but nowadays it's different. You'll see some women nowadays that they broken the mold. He said, Uncle, you gotta understand, brothers like me be asking the same questions because we need reassurance about us being like or catered to in the Philippines. I know this is called low self-esteem, Rashard. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is one of the reasons some men are easily controlled than others. Because you have to be told over and over and over that it's real. The 18 to 80 blind, crippled, and crazy is real. You're not going to have a problem, getting into a relationship over here. I'll be trying to give you the backstory. Okay, now what are you stepping into? Latin America, several. So fault for being redundant, champ. No, you're not being redundant. But you ought to know better right now. The only way you're really going to know is to get off the couch. You become an armchair bro. Take a weekend off and go to the DR. That's all you need is a weekend to go to the DR from America. I mean, why you guys think that's so far? Why do you think it's turned into Pookie Town? It's Pookie Town now because it's right around the corner. It's a good thing that I didn't get hip to the DR because I probably wouldn't be here. The DR is so close. I'd certainly be living in the DR. I just wanted to leave America for a little while. I needed a break from that damn place. It wouldn't have mattered if it was the weather warm, they got beaches, they got nice looking women. What about the cost of living? Can my money, that $1,900 I was earning at the time, would that be enough to give me a decent life over there? Then hell, it could have been Mexico. It could have been Puerto Rico. But yeah, it's Pookie Town now. He said, I know what you did last summer. But yeah, okay. He says, recognizing manipulative behaviors in a relationship requires awareness, guys, and attentiveness that you don't have when your pants is on fire. They're just calling it manipulative behaviors and attentiveness. We call it red flags. That's all it is. It says both verbal and nonverbal cues. That's all we're saying. You're not paying attention. All you can see is a little 22, 23-year-old with the long hair all the way down to her behind. They're beautiful over here, man. They're perfect. Okay, ain't got a scratch on her. Not a pimple. Hair smells like cream silk. Got on skinny tight jeans, a 20 peso blouse. And then she utters those magic words, you can do whatever you want to me. You're done if you come over here. She ain't even got to manipulate you. But inconsistent affection, they say, is one way that you can recognize if a woman's playing games with you or not. Because how many times do I get a question, how do you know if it's real or not? This is, okay, look, here's your answer right here. This is what we're going to talk about now for the next 15 or 20 minutes. How you know if it's real and she's not playing games. Inconsistent affection, because like that guy said, his woman made a, what you call it? Where she got his pictures everywhere. He said even on his watch and all of that. They'll keep your pictures for years. Never get rid of them. This is what a real woman over here will do. But if they start, he said, if you start to notice if the affection or sexual intimacy is given conditionally or changes suddenly based on your behavior, then she's playing games. If all of a sudden 9 days in a row she says yes, and then 4 days in a row she says no, you know there's a change there. If all of a sudden she's swallowing grandchildren, then you don't even want to change your oil. See that inconsistent affection. Like, okay, I've done enough now to get him in my grasp. See, this is where you reach the fork in the road. Do I continue on this route and be manipulated and used and taken advantage of? Or did I just go on and end it and get somebody else? This is where you're going to be when you start recognizing this stuff. Because now you're not going to play any games with me. I know my worth. I know what I'm bringing to the table. The table. Okay, if you want to play games, I'm pretty sure there's somebody else in that cesspool that's willing to play games with you. I'm too old. I'm in my fourth quarter. Emotional game playing. Yeah, there's the discord, guys. And see, Rashard, he doesn't understand. He just wants to be seen, like a lot of guys in the comments. You got direct access to me on Patreon, man. You can ask me anything you want in Patreon, but you don't. The only time you reply to me and if I put a video like I did 2 days ago or yesterday. You got access to me at any time on Patreon. Any question you want, you can ask that same question 10 times. There's nothing I can do. But a lot of you guys just want to be seen. You want to be comment superstars. I got the best question or whatever. Now, these regular guys who aren't part of my fourth quarter membership or the Patreon, it's different. You know, they don't have direct access to me. This is the only time. He said that Filipino mafia is deep in the States, especially West Coast, especially Hawaii. Everywhere you go, there's a Filipino mafia. I was in Louisville, Kentucky, little bitty Louisville, Kentucky, and they were deep and they were strong. Okay? Yeah, we need an expat mafia, man. But we always try and bring each other down. We're attacking each other because it's of jealousy, low self-esteem, trying to be like each other. Look, you got your own life, man. I don't envy no man. Because life has for me what it has for me. And it's the same with you. But you're right, we're too busy attacking each other. He says, I had a woman in college whose husband split. She wasn't divorced, but was looking for something serious with me. Is divorce possible now? No, it's not. It's going to be an annulment, and she's going to want you to pay for it. That's why they separate. They can't afford it, man. And it takes about 4 or 5 years. Takes about 4 or 5 years, and it's going to cost about 500,000 pesos. I know a friend from Canada, and he's got a nice resort. Him and his wife right up the street here. He claimed it was 350,000 pesos in 4 years for him. So that means it was more. Whatever a man tells you, he's always going to tell you he spent less money. Either way it goes, he waited. And then remember, Sunshine fan, you're only getting one side of the story. Okay, you're not getting his side. She's telling you he split. Maybe she split. Maybe she's watching these videos. Maybe she said, hey, look, I want better living conditions than what Dong is giving me. Hold on, guys. Hey, hon. Wait, that's my dog's out there. Hon, let Yappy in. Let Yappy in. He's out there he's drowning basically. And he ain't gonna stop. That's why I call him Yappy, man. He will not stop. But no, be real careful of dealing with them women, man, that are separated. See, like Jogo Wonder, as popular as he is, they're gonna find a reason to come after you. Now they're saying that, oh, look at you, you're with a married woman, you ought to know better. Man, leave that man alone, man. Enjoy his content, but leave him alone. It's none of your business. But they're going to find something, guys, to come after you for over here, like Raymond said. We're too busy attacking each other. Instead of saying, hey, man, get you a private investigator to see if you can find out as much as you can about her husband. Where is he? Because he might be living next door. When I came over here the very first trip, I was dealing with a married woman. Her husband was living downstairs. She finally told me. I'm passing the man every time I come over there. And she said, yeah, let me go on and tell you, that man down there, because he had a new wife, a young wife, and baby. That's my ex. Oh, you finally going to tell me? They still living where they lived. Except she lives upstairs, he lives downstairs with his new family. This is what y'all don't know. When you be dealing with these married women, the man may still be living there when you go to see the family. Because that's how they operate here. If they live in the province, that's how they met him. They neighbors or something. They live in close proximity to one another. It's not like she's coming all the way to Cebu meeting somebody. Unless she got a job. He said, I'm in Miami, Cal. I got the DR, Colombia, and Cuba in my back door. Flights are cheap from here. See? Your perfect situation. I knew nothing about the DR, man. A friend of mine, he's a travel agent, right? And when I first made my first trip to the Philippines, I was hooked. He couldn't have gave me a ticket to the DR, but he was saying, hey, I got some good deals on Punta Cana. I think that's the name of the place. And he gave me a brochure. It looked nice. I'm like, wow, it looks like the Philippines. But I never went. It was too late. He should have caught me before. He said, DR women are very similar to the Philippines. I just feel like Filipino women are more trustworthy. I don't know. I'm just glad I came over here. Because I really needed something different. He said, any brothers here in the Duma area? Yeah, I got a good friend there, man. His name is Jay. I'm telling you, this guy is a great guy if he's watching. But he kind of lives outside of Dumaguete as you're going to Valencia. A lot of people are moving up that way. He doesn't live in Valencia, but where he took me to this pizza place, the Hideout, hey, gone to the moon. Have one of them tricycles take you to the Hideout restaurant, order one of them deep dish pizzas. Thank me now. It's the best pizza in the Philippines. He said expats are like crabs in a bucket. He said women can see guys, those type of guys coming from a mile away. They compliment all the time. Yeah, they compliment her all the time to the point she gets sick of it and they leave with their wallet. And all you got to do is go into these Filipino, look at pro-life vlogger, pro-life traveler, and his wife that started a channel. She's smart for this. They're just drooling. I mean, it's really sickening, man. But you can't tell me, and like Q said earlier, biology doomed us. But it's really, really sickening if these are his followers. But these are the people hiding in the shadows. These are the next pets, guys. They want his woman. That's why I call it the next pet. He wants the next man's woman. He thinks because you got her, he can have her. Oh, if Cal got her, I know I can get her. So they wait for y'all to break up And then they sneak in the comments or whatever it is. They sneak in her ear over there. They want your woman. And that's what they're doing. Maya, Geo's ex, any of the exes that went on and got their channel now. It's sickening, man. He said, not cream silk. Yeah. He said, yeah, you're cooked. You are when you show up there. And imagine you in monk mode, and she's already been giving you the peekaboo treatment. Y'all don't know what you're up against over here, man. It's tough, man. That's why channels like mine and others are important. It gives you an inkling of what you're fighting against, man. It's no game over here. These women are playing for keeps over here. It's too much at stake. To you, it's a game, man. To her, it's not a game. They pulling out all the stops, guys. And they're going to get you if you're not aware. The guy says all the conservative bullshit. The very first night, they doing everything it took your American wife 10 years to do. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just telling you that that's how it is. I don't know why they do it. He said, comment superstars. That's what they want to be. The smartest man in the room. They can say the stuff right to you. They can send you a message. I got a friend, man. He lives in Connecticut. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's a bright guy. He got it going on. He had a business over in the Philippines. And, he's got my WhatsApp, but he's all in my comments. If he don't agree with something I say, which I don't care, well, just say that to me, man. I don't want to go back and forth with you. In my comments, man, you're a friend. That's why I gave you my WhatsApp. Let's do it on WhatsApp. Nope. Yeah, they doing all of this, MJB and the P2B. We just be trying to warn guys, kind of like what you're really up against. Man, okay, imagine, since y'all so crazy about pro-life traveler's wife, now imagine if she's the one that shows up to meet you, because that's what they look like at the airport. You see how bubbly she is. That's how my son's mother is. She's still like that to this day. She's got that attitude, that bubbly personality. That's why people love Filipino women. Okay, you would think that why are they so happy? They shouldn't be this damn happy. But she's bubbly like that, man. She shows up, everything showing. You know what's coming next. Because she done already showed it to you online. You cooked, like MJB to the P2B said. You cooked, man. They have no idea what they're up against. He says, I heard about the north coast of the DR being Pookie City, Pookie Town. And that's why I'm looking at the south coast. Yeah, a friend of mine, good friend, Christopher Williams, he got a condominium in Santo Domingo or Santiago. I'm about to get my settlement check for my workman's compensation case. But hell, it's so cheap to go to the DR, you don't need that. Take one of your paychecks, man. Leave on a Friday, come back Sunday. You guys are right there at the back door of Mexico. And you won't go, man. When's the last time you guys ever went to some place like Playa del Carmen and all those places? Man, y'all right there on the back door to paradise. The media got you scared to go over there. Some guys are so smart. That's where most of the expats from America are. They're in Mexico. They say, well, hell, I don't have to fly all the way over on the other side of the planet. And they're getting the same thing you're getting. That was my number one place that I was going. I was sold on Playa del Carmen. That's where I was going to retire. And then I came here. Yeah, I hope you get it, man. He said my ex told me about her son 5 years after. But you know, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Be careful, guys. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. I already did. He said, Cal, are you going to be doing any more home renovations before you go? I didn't even want to do that one. But after she told her brother, well, really after the bad guy said, hey, I looked into it. I contacted her brother, but I'm thinking he was still working over in Bacala because this guy's in demand. He's really, really good at what he does. Well, hell, he showed up the next day, so I didn't have no choice. But I went on and got that done, man, and it looks good, man. I'm so glad. Y'all don't realize from the inside the wall looks shorter than it is, but on the outside, remember, it goes down about another 2 feet. That wall is about 7 foot high. And now with the barbed wire on top, you're looking at about almost 9 feet now from the outside. That's how they're going to get in there. But no, I think he is. Yeah, I think he's still in that detention center. But what I'm saying is, this is what you're dealing with over there. He's not the only man. Most of the majority of the women who are with expats, you never see. They don't have YouTube channels. But that's what they look like. That's how, believe it or not, I know y'all seen the video of my wife when she was on that, what's that judge's show with her new boyfriend, right? And she'd put on a little weight, right? I promise you, man, I have nothing to gain from this. That's how my wife used to look. When I met her, she was 36, 26, 36. She didn't weigh but 100 pounds. That's how she looked. That's how a lot of them look like that. And that's what's going to be showing up at the airport. So you got to have some type of game plan. If you're not used to dealing with something like that, and everything goes, nothing's off the table, man, you guys are crazy, man. Y'all better start listening up, man. Well, honestly, man, I really didn't see anything. That's all, interpretation, guys. Okay. Did he do some disrespectful stuff? Yeah, but I don't think it's something that you should lock the man up for and throw away the key and ruin his life. See, this is the thing about living in a new country, because you don't know their laws, you don't know the penalties, you don't even know how they're even going to react to what you've done. But the foreigners built all of that up, because there's Filipinos doing worse than him. There's other vloggers doing worse than him. So why aren't they going after those vloggers? They can easily zero in on a vlogger and interpret every video, even mine, anybody's. Say, oh man, he's disrespecting Filipinos. It's all about interpretation. People were jealous of this man. I'm sorry, man. A beautiful wife, beautiful family. Channel blew up. He had money, bought a brand new truck, cash money probably. They ain't giving you no loans over here, guys. Unless you got a certain type of visa and income, like retirement income. They ain't talking about no YouTube income. See? But all that, and if you say something like, oh, you're taking up for him. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that it was overkill. Okay, look what Trump, the president of the United States, did to a former president. Shows them as apes. Nothing happened to him. He says, oh, yeah. His problem was he showed it on the video. It's very disrespectful what he said. You can't say that. But is that something to lock the man up, parade him out in front of have a press conference and parading him out in front of the whole world because he says, hey, because that's what they kept showing. That's all they showed on TV. I'm just going by what they did. They kept showing that on a loop of him saying, oh, look at those guys. They look like monkeys. and he makes a monkey noise, right? But a friend of mine was called a gorilla by a Filipino. No, certain parts of Mexico are no-go zone. The same thing would happen to you over here, Sax Solo, if you go to the no-go zone. He said Mexico is a no-go zone, Cal. No, it's not. You need to do your research. He said, Cal, you remember that black tourists got killed by the cartels? Yeah, they were in the wrong place, the wrong time, in a white van that probably had a skirmish with a white van to begin with. No, they shouldn't be that happy. When you come over here and see the situations they're faced with, I surely wouldn't be laughing. Wouldn't nothing be funny. Okay? You know, I believe you've been here before, 8,000 miles. There ain't nothing to laugh at. When I met my son's mother and went up there, and I had to use the bathroom, you know, just wee-wee. You know, good thing that's all I had to do. She pointed to the jungle. There, that we don't have a bathroom up here. And, you know, not to put anybody down, not to talk about anybody. I'm just saying they didn't. They have it now. Hell, that was 16 years ago. Actually, yeah. See, it's February 2026. When I met her family, it was February of 2010. Because we met toward the end of January of 2010. And after being with her for a couple of weeks, we went to the mountains. Yeah. Yeah, they mesmerized. But you try to put them up on game, they act like you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, he's sugarcoating it. Okay. Yeah, he was getting, you know, that last 6 month stretch. And people, we're just taking ourselves too seriously, Christopher Michael, because I made a short. It's still, man, that short is approaching 20,000. Well, I said, hey, he became bigger than the Filipino P. It was on off a live stream like I'm doing now. I just took a little snippet where I was saying he did surpass her. He's the only vlogger over here, myself included, that never complained about his views going down and him losing money. He was the only one, guys. His channel was booming. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. But yeah, they in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. May their souls rest in peace. You ain't going to be playing over there. I'm not going to blame the victim. I don't know what happened. He claims that the family of those blacks who went to Mexico and got killed said they were getting drugs over there and got caught up. But it's dangerous places over here, but, you know, you can't focus on that. You just better know where they are. He said many expats in Mexico City, some own condos there. That's the number one spot for American expats is Mexico, somewhere in Mexico. Robert Dame. Well, not really. We don't really come from apes. We've got, what do they say? 98% of the same DNA or something as apes. We're really like cousins of apes. See, this is the wrong story. They're our closest kin. He said, aren't we ancestors apes? Aren't our ancestors apes? I guess monkey are more belittling than apes, but anybody who belittles someone is a piece of shit anyways without proper context. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's nothing to be proud of when you put somebody down like that. See, Robert, man, I'm glad you on here because I was just getting ready to say, all you got to do is talk to Robert Dame. He lived there for years, maybe even decades, Robert. He said Mexico is good if you have family there. There he is. That's Harry Shoulders. This is Harry Shoulders right here. Well, actually, they are kin to you. Okay, don't believe that Adam and Eve story. I mean, you can if you want to. If you think that the first two human beings were white, a woman and a man, that's what I was taught growing up. Then okay, that's what you want to believe. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we didn't evolve from apes. This is what people want you to believe. That's just believing what you hear. All you got to do is research that stuff now. Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody came from them 6,000 years ago. Let's don't get on to that, guys, because I don't believe that story. Well, Obama tries to be diplomatic. You know, he ain't going to talk to him now. Trump's just a keyboard warrior like a lot of his followers. Obama would kick his ass. Okay? Yeah, I love the food. I love the food in Mexico. The last time I was in Mexico was 2001, late 2001 or early 2002. We were doing some work. That was early 2002. We were doing some work in LA and we rented a van. All of us put in together, rented a van, and we rode from LA to Tijuana, man. We had them real tacos, man. It was good. Well, remember, we didn't evolve from them. They have their own, evolution from wherever they came from. And it's not like they're so slow, but they probably don't sit around and waiting on a savior. We're the human beings are the only ones that do that. We're the only ones that even worry about dying. We will worry ourselves to death. Nobody, no other creature does that. They enjoying their life. They're living. Yeah, Eve supposedly came from the rib, but we take all this stuff literally when the Bible is supposed to be written in allegories and parables. What does that really mean? Yeah, he said it's incorrect. He said, Nelson, that's incorrect. He said the black family from South Carolina was taking a female relative for treatment in Mexico and were tragically mistaken for rival drug pushers the moment that they crossed at Matamoros, Mexico. I knew something like that. Man, it don't matter. Trump needs to shut his mouth in. See, when it goes for a lot of trolls. Look at what happened to the people in Vegas. They on here talking shit. They ain't asking nobody, well, hell, do you know karate? Do you know MMA? Can you fight? And all of that. They just out here making videos about people, Frank. Tell him to shut his mouth because Obama will whoop him. Obama's not making videos about Trump and starting trouble with Trump. The birther and all of that stuff. Okay? He'll get um what he asked for. You know, he said Tijuana's level 3, crime and kidnapping. Yeah, it means reconsider. That's all, but remember, we're Americans, paragraphics. That stuff doesn't stop us. We got people living in Mindanao. That's level 3. I mean, you got thousands and thousands of Americans living in Mindanao. And it's level 3. It's never stopped us. It's never going to stop you. That kind of stuff. Okay, Michael Beach Life. But we're not going to start talking about that racial stuff. Whenever we talk about racial stuff, Michael beats your life. He's out of here. But there's nothing wrong with talking about it. It's history. It's the present. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. What the guy said. Plausible deniability. We can't just pretend it's not there. It is there. They had their own Super Bowl halftime show. I'm like, come on, guys. It ain't that serious. It's not that serious, guys. It's just not. It's just not. Okay, what is the can Americans or foreigners own land in Mexico, Robert? He said, I own homes there. I had 3 vehicles there at one time legally. Apostille stamps and the old FM3 immigrant visa. Well, absolutely not. Certainly not while he's the president. And he can always file bankruptcy again. He said, you think Trump will ever pay his lawsuits? He's getting rich off the presidency, you know. But let's go to the next one. Because you always ask me, Cal, how do I know if this woman is real or not? Okay? I'm going to tell you. If you're going to listen, it says, we said inconsistent affection, emotional game playing, looking for patterns where affection or intimacy used as a reward or punishment. Withdrawn behavior, if a partner frequently uses sexual withdrawal as a means to exert control or elicit a reaction. Guilt inducement, be aware of conversations that frequently make you feel guilty or responsible for their emotional state, especially regarding intimacy. See, you're going to get that. Make you feel guilty. That's why, you almost feel obligated to send money. Okay? Well, they're everywhere, but that you don't have anything to worry about as much in Cagayan de Oro. But the United States State Department knows more about Cagayan de Oro than I do. I wouldn't be afraid to live in Cagayan de Oro. I dated a woman there. Me and Marilyn have been there a few times. But the State Department issued a level 3 travel advisory, not me. But I've got a good friend there, Claude Roberts, and his wife. They got a beautiful family, beautiful home he built. He supervised their house. It's nice. They live in Cagayan de Oro. But it's level 3. I mean, he said nobody watched that show. Well, they did. Okay, excessive jealousy, guys. This is stuff you got to look for over here. Subtle coercion. Manipulative language. Isolation tactics. Mixed signals. Okay, this is a good one because remember, if you have to question whether a Filipino likes you or not, she don't. If you ever question whether the woman you're dealing with now is into you, she's not. You would never have to question that. If you ever find yourself questioning, she into me, that's the biggest red flag now because they're either all in or not. And this is what every time when you see on Rafi Tufo, the signs are there, but we're not paying attention. Where the woman's staying out with friends and stuff like that, she's not into you. You need to get out of there. This isn't America where, let's make it work. Let's go to counseling and all that. Like I said, if sometimes, if it's hot and cold, no. It's either all hot or all cold. Even if it's not centered for some reason. I don't know what happened to this. I really don't know what happened. If it's the camera, it's not centered. Let me see. Oh, okay, I know why. Thank you. Thank you. There. It's the layout was wrong. I did this on my last. Now, look, my live stream's almost over. I went through my whole live stream till you brought this up. Cause like, what's going on? The reason it's over here because I had it on 3 people. 1 here and 2 on the side. Now it's just on 1 person. Thank you, Icy. He said, I had one on the site say she lost everything in Mindanao and just said, oh, what you plan on doing? It's quite comical, very entertaining to see some of the responses. Yeah, these are scammers, though. These women aren't real because the real ones won't do that. They'll wait till you with them already. And then, oh, my mother's in the hospital. When she'll really be in the hospital, but she's like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? That's your mother. They expect you to pay for it. And if you don't, they'll make you feel guilty. Well, I thought you loved me. I thought, you were going to take care of me. That's my mother in there. Yeah, CDO is nice. I would have no problem living there. But it's level 3. You just have to know that. And there's a reason, you got to do your history. Y'all won't listen to me. Y'all get mad when I give you the history of those mass graves down there that American forces put down there, by the way. Okay, the order was given to kill Filipinos 10 and over because they thought when they came over here, Filipinos was just going to lay over and let America just run over top of them. They never even suspected any resistance. When they start killing these soldiers, booby trapping them and everything like that, and America got mad. Yeah, but they do. They do know you. They know you before you know them. You eventually know them. Zach Solo, when you live around here long enough, he said, I was laughing when you said the bad guys know you when you were shopping at Save More. But it's true. They'll know you. They'll know you. Especially in a little place like St. Carlos City. Because some guy was like, man, aren't you worried you give away that money and people come to your house? Aren't you worried about... They're not going to do anything to me, man. I help the bad guys and their families, man. They know that I'm not rich for real. They know that I take that out of my pocket, out of my earnings from my channel. It's just that you gain respect, man, when they see you. Now would be different if I was over here fronting and looking down on people and thinking I'm better than and all this fancy stuff, Sax Solo, it would be different. But I don't act like that. I wasn't born like that. I wasn't raised like that. Remember, my drug history keeps me humble. I know I'm 1 drink away from returning to all that foolishness. But they respect you for that. I'm humble over here, man. They don't know. I walked. They see me walking all the time. They probably wonder, why doesn't he have a car? Or something, People respect you when you like that. Yeah, but the Philippines has a level. They have 3 travel warnings. The country is level 2. It says be on the lookout. Okay, it's not level 1, it's level 2, which is okay. But then it says when you go on and you read the whole page, it ain't no Philippines in general. You got to read that whole page, Raymond, and it tells you Mindanao, all of Mindanao, which is the 2nd largest island in the Philippines, is level 3. That covers a lot of the Philippines. Okay? That's why you can't say general level 2. Yeah. If you're not in Mindanao. And then they even got a level 4 down here in Mindanao. And it's best that you pay attention to that stuff. Don't say, oh, most people think that the Philippines is level 2. It's not level 2, only in some areas. They got level 4 over here. He says Dumaguete seems like it's one of the safest from natural disasters, which is why I'm going to start there. Well, it is. It's in the what they call the Central Visayas region. Cebu, but it's all on the Pacific Ring of Fire, guys. It's all that the Philippines is right on that. You're not, it's just not their time yet. But that's the reason I've moved to Cebu. And hell, since I started coming over here, we had an earthquake there, several typhoons. But Dumaguete is usually spared. Siquijor Island is usually spared. All around that little area. So yeah, you're sort of right about that. Okay, this is another one. Okay, self-justification. See, one thing that you're going to run into over here when you get in relationships here is they don't like to be held accountable. Don't tell them when they're wrong. You get an argument. But it says, analyze if they rationalize manipulative behavior as normal or justified, often placing the blame on you for misunderstanding their intentions. See, it's never their fault. It's always your fault over here. Just remember that. It's always going to be your fault. He said, yeah, nowhere is safe from natural disasters. Just hope it doesn't happen when you're there. I couldn't have said it better. What I probably should have said. But yeah, certainly not in the Philippines. It's typhoon season all year round. But that's probably not what's going to get you. You may be visiting your girlfriend's family and hell, the flood hits you and you can't leave. Just like right now. Without my boots, I'm stuck in here, man. Without my boots, I'm stuck in here. I can't go anywhere. I couldn't make it out just my regular shoes. It's been raining nonstop, man. Still raining. It doesn't flood over here, but you get big puddles of water where I can't get out. Yeah. He said, we got a crack in the ocean too. He said it's called Tampo. Well, that's just part of it. They didn't even have to be in Tampo. Anything, that's why when people say, why do they tell so many little lies, right? That's because, they never wrong. You could say something so simple as, did you cook my eggs yet? Yeah, even though they haven't cooked them. But the minute you say that, she runs in there and puts them on the stove. Or you'll say, did you pay the water bill already? Yeah, I already paid it. They haven't paid it. They want to be perfect. Well, I mean, I live in an undeveloped subdivision. Yeah, if you had a 4x4 Jeep, you could certainly get out of here. If you got a motorcycle, you can get out of here. But I'm saying walking, you can't. You can, but you're going to be muddy as hell. By the time you get to the end, you're done. You got to turn around and get even muddy, more muddy to come back home. He says, I've been living in Pattaya, Thailand. What you say was 1 year, and I gave up on finding a girlfriend, not because I don't trust her. I don't trust myself. Beautiful women everywhere. Single for life. I'm 59. I don't blame you, but over here, over there it's different. It seems like it's all transactional over there. I guess it probably will be easier. I just still, I'm just not cut from that cloth. I just can't deal with women like that. I can't deal with those street women like that. Those street walkers, because there was always somebody that was paying them before you. I don't mind having a girlfriend that's going to live with me. And I know that, that we're in a committed relationship, man. It's the only reason I can deal with that. I can't deal with that pay for play stuff. Not the original pay for play. It's all pay for play, but I can't deal with that. Knowing 5 minutes ago she was with somebody else. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I can't. That's why it's always good, Christopher, to leave them some room to save face. In America, we love to argue. We're infatuated with being right over there. Then you can't do that over here. At some point you got to know when to pull in the reins and be like, okay, let me let her win the argument, just to live another day, and keep from having a damn headache. But one thing over here is they just ain't gonna admit when they wrong, man. I don't care. You can catch them dead wrong. They never gonna admit it. I mean, it's really. But the real pay for play, like in Angeles City and stuff like that, I couldn't do it, man. Not that I haven't done it before, yeah, but only when I was in the service and probably out there getting high, where you don't give a damn. You're really out of your mind. But it's just a regular man. No, I got to have, my relationship at least got to seem like it's normal, even though it's not. It's got to at least seem like it's normal. You can't have been with somebody 20 minutes ago. You're not cleaning up yourself. As soon as you get done, they're right back out there. It's not like they're taking a shower. That's money she's potentially losing. I can't deal with something like that. And she might want to kiss you or something like that. I'm sorry. I can't deal with that. But to each his own, man. He says, here's the secret sauce to finding a good woman. Get off all social media. Most of the women online dating sites have been ran through many times and will be many times after you. It's just business. I don't buy that. I don't believe that. Not in the Philippines. It's just, when it comes to dating sites, Brad P, it's just not enough men really coming over here for the dating sites. This isn't like some static place like Angeles City. Them dating sites are ever evolving. And there's women who have been on there for a long, long time. We chase the same women. So if I think a woman looks good, you probably think. There is a method to that madness where you can go on the dating site right today and find a woman, but you got to have some patience, which we don't have. Remember, we got hot pants syndrome. If you go on those dating sites and you know what to look for, you're paying attention. Remember, because a lot of them is on there manipulating men. They ain't really trying to find a good man, a good relationship. But the reason I push back on what you're saying is because if you're watching YouTube, myself included, everybody you see, they met the woman online. That's where the women are. If you can come over, can you meet a woman over here? Yeah, you're not going to have the patience, though. If you want to get off that plane and having somebody meeting you there, you only got 2 weeks. You're not trying to, court a woman over here. It's going to take you 6 months. At least on the dating site, the woman's already basically agreed to the unspoken agreement. She's already saying, okay, I know what to expect on here. That's really what they're saying. But it's not true. It's a lot of good women because that's the only way that they feel comfortable meeting us. You act like they're so comfortable meeting foreigners. They're not. Man, we're in the Philippines. It's 2026, and majority of these women have never even met a foreigner before. That's why they use the dating site to break the ice. They've never met a foreigner before. They've seen us before. They haven't talked to us. You know, they may even have a sister or a friend who's married or dating a foreigner, but they've never met one before. And which one are you going to walk up to? Remember, majority of Filipinos ain't looking at you. They're not looking at foreigners. And we don't have the confidence. Majority of men, overwhelming majority, I don't care how old you are. That's why you come to the Philippines and places like this. You got low self-esteem. You're not approaching these women. They're lying to you. They'll tell you, oh yeah, approach the women and meet them offline. Bullshit. Bullshit. They're not doing it. They don't have what it takes to do that. And who, at least you know the women on the dating site are, you know, for the most part, they aren't with anybody. You don't know whose wife you pulling up on in the restaurant. And they're not going to talk to you in public anyway. They're so embarrassed. What you look, most of us, man, we come over real well in our 50s and 60s, 70s. You think a young, beautiful woman is going to appreciate some 70-year-old man pushing up on her in public? You don't know a lot about this place, dude, if you're saying that. Is it possible? Yeah, but most men don't do that. We're going to take the path of least resistance. And that's that dating site. And it's good women on there. It's certainly, you know, better than what you're dealing with at home. You see, yeah, a lot of vloggers in Pattaya say a lot of guys over there trading, swapping females. I'm not sure if that's true. Well, it is. It is. And I'm pretty sure there's guys who have regular type women over there. After you're there a while, and you know how things move, you know where to find a woman. It's just so different over there than it is over here. You know, I'm thinking that the bar girls in Thailand have gotten hip to the dating sites quicker than the bar girls here. See, a lot of bar girls here, they won't even get on the dating site. They don't realize that it's just something in them. Maybe they're being human trafficked. I don't know. But it's like, why would you do that? Because they need the money right then and there. See, it's no guarantee that they're going to meet somebody on the dating site, but you would think that they would think, why would you subject yourself to all of that when all you got to do is get on the dating site and meet a man? Because it's not that easy. There's women been on there for years. They would love to have a man to meet them. Yeah, there is men on earth who can't be controlled by sex. Because you're going to know, once you know, Q, that the woman is trying to manipulate you and control you, you're going to feel some kind of way. You're not going to take that. What self-respecting man would take that? Okay, yeah, I'll give it to you. You're going to buy that motorcycle or whatever it is. You're not going to do that, man. Yeah, men. It's really controlling yourself, having some type of self-control. You got self-control. That's why you're not out here raping women. When you see beautiful women in public, you act accordingly. Because you're not being controlled 100% by sex. Okay? You've got some control because of the law. They're going to send your ass away for the rest of your life. But you also have self-control. A lot of them rapists, they don't have any self-control, Q. They don't care about the law. They're going to do it anyway. You're not like that. So it would be the same in a relationship. Once you see it going left, I'm out of there. You know, you ain't going to play games with me. That's why me and my American wife been together. We was together for 18 years. You know how long? That's a long time. For some people, that's a lifetime. But once you start playing games and I'm begging you just for some intimacy from my wife, arguing all the time because you want me to change, I got to do all the changing. I got to do all the growing. And you don't do nothing but sit there and get bigger. That's all you're doing. You're not going to school. I gotta do a 180 in my life, and you don't have to do nothing. See, that was the problem I had. But yeah, a lot of men, I'm not controlled by sex. Do I like to have sex? Yeah. I want it when I want it. I don't want it 24 hours a day, but I want it 2 to 3 times a day, and I ask for it. No, you're not controlled. Okay, what do you mean control? What's your definition of control? Okay, wanting sex? That's not being controlled by it. What's your example? Give an example of being controlled. You're a human being, so sex is natural, so you're going to want it, but it doesn't mean you're being controlled by it. You got a messed up definition of control. Okay? That's like I said, some of you guys, y'all just come on here and make these statements, but okay, you gotta don't just say this, come back with some examples then what you're talking about. We take certain things for granted, some things are unspoken. If you were a woman and you say, okay, we're going to get married, we're going to be living partners or whatever, you're under the impression that she understands that you're a man and you want sex. Okay? No, I'm sorry. You don't. It's more men over here. He said you have to buy that house and lot in order to gain access. You don't. But that's not being controlled. But that's okay. I got to get off here anyway, man, because you guys, y'all, you're not making any sense. You don't know the definition of control. That means she makes you do stuff. She controls you. Okay, let me show you what the definition of control is. And then you tell me if this is what's going on with you. Maybe it is. It's not going on with me. Okay. I'm going to tell you there's a definition of control. Control refers to the power or authority to direct, influence, or manage a person, situation, or process. It involves having the ability to regulate or determine outcomes according to one's desires or intentions. Control can be exercised in various contexts, including personal relationships, organizations, and social situations. We're talking about if she ain't got no power of authority to direct, influence, or manage me, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, you're talking about something totally different. Okay, but it still doesn't control you, because why aren't you going out in the street raping women, Q? Okay, you don't make any sense, man. Hey, what's up, Joe? He said, I think if you're upfront with a person when you meet them for the very first time, they will have more respect for you. This is what I said. You got to come to that understanding in the beginning. Hey, look, I got a high sex drive. Is that going to be a problem? And then let them know, look, I'm not serious. Okay, I'm not to be played with. If you don't want that, then you're probably with the wrong guy. Okay, I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to mistreat you. But this is just who I am. I'm telling you up front. I told Merlin that. I told my wife that. Every woman I've ever, because it's true. If you can't deal with that, then don't deal with me. Go on with somebody else. You may want an older guy. Okay, who only wants the peekaboo sessions and all that. Okay? But it ain't no control. A woman ain't no under no damn control like that. It's self-control. Okay? But yeah, thank y'all so much for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders, man. I really appreciate it. He said they say people that rape don't do it for the sex, but do it to feel overpowered and control. Yeah, but I'm just saying, if sex and biology controls us, like he's saying, why are all men doing that? Because we got something called self-control. Okay, the law is controlling you because you can always. Why do you think? Okay, if this was true, then I would still be with my American wife if she controlled me with sex. If she was able to make me do whatever she wanted me to do for sex. That wasn't the case. I walked away. He has no idea what he's talking about. And I would walk away today if a woman started playing those manipulative, control-like games. I'm too old for that. You might deal with that. I'm not. Yeah, God control. He controls you. He controls me. But I appreciate y'all, man. I hope I hope they were able to get over here. I haven't seen any messages from them. He's supposed to have been catching the 11 o'clock. Let's see. No, he hasn't got it yet. But he's coming, man, and I'll probably eat lunch or dinner with him today. I told him to contact me once they get settled in. I believe they're going to one of the hotels here. I gave him like 4 or 5 choices. And you can't go wrong here. Here's Chris. He messed me on WhatsApp. See, he's in Santo Domingo, Rashard. This is the guy you need to hook up with. He can tell you about, but he's not a Pookie, though. He sent me some pictures. He said he's in Miami now. He said he's heading back to Atlanta. He said maybe you can meet us in Sasua one year for the Super Bowl. It's always a good time. That's where he was, see? He just went for the Super Bowl party. Turned around and came back. These guys are living, man. You right there on the cusp of paradise. But you guys have come up with all kind of excuses. You're going to wait for the right time. Oh, I'm going to wait till I get my check. Your check's always in the mail. Yeah. He says, I was married for 24 years before my wife passed. See, I didn't know that, man. My sincerest condolences, brother. He said, I think they are getting control mixed up with a man setting his boundaries and sticking to them. He don't know what he's talking about. Okay. Yeah, he said, my job is controlling me. He said, I need to go to work soon. Yeah, see, they control you. If you don't come in here, you ain't gonna. You got to come in here from 8 to 4, or 9 to 5, or you're not gonna get paid. That's control, and then you make the decision. Do I want this job? Do I need this job enough? Okay, he says, I'm Dominican and I love Philippines. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would. It's like I'm American, you know. But somebody who's not from the Dominican Republic is going to love the women there. That's why we're a joke to the men here. You see videos all the time and they say, oh, the Filipino men jealous. They're not jealous of us guys. Okay, they're wondering to themselves because, you know, they've been around Filipinos their whole life. It's no big deal to them. They're wondering, why in the world are these guys coming all the way over here spending just a fortune of money on these women that I'm not even attracted to. We're an inside joke. That if they were jealous of you, trust me, you wouldn't be here. It would be so many instances of foreigners getting stabbed and shot and killed. Maryland said they don't have a problem with us as long as we don't deal with their women. But some of you guys want to come over here and deal with their women. All she tells you, she's separated. Well, what's his story? What's his side of the story? You claim she's separated. He's madly in love, probably stalking her. It's a little fine little girl that goes over to the gym. She was with a Filipino guy, right? But I knew something wasn't right with this guy. You know, he just don't look like he's all the way there. Well, she had a foreigner boyfriend before. And he called her chatting back with the guy. So they broke up. Now he's just lost his mind. And I told Merlin, I said, I pity the man who's dealing with this woman, who comes over here and sees her, because that guy ain't going nowhere. Then the girl's probably telling him, oh yeah, I'm not fooling with him anymore. It's over with. I want you. It could be 100% true, but she's not telling you about him and his feelings. They be in their feelings, guys. Okay? I'm just being honest with you. Okay, Raymond, y'all be careful. Take care.